Hey, good morning. Welcome back to That'll Do Garage. Thanks for joining me today. Today we have a little adventure I'm pretty excited about. We're going to head a couple hours up north and pick up a classic, antique, well-seasoned two-wheel drive tractor. It's been hiding in a garage for several years. So who knows if we're going to be able to get it running. It mathematically does not fit on my trailer, so we'll have to figure something out there. But it should be a great time. Let's get going. Well, before we hit the road, I did load up about half of my garage here, and the idea is if I bring it, that basically guarantees that I won't need it, so we should be all right. But there is another challenge, which is part of the roof that supports the garage has collapsed, so we might have to cut our way into the garage. I have a chainsaw over here as well. And if you do the math on the tractor dimensions versus the trailer dimensions, I think it's like 8 inches too short, and we have about 1 inch to spare left or right, so should be a good time. And also this is rated at like 2,100 pounds and the tractor's 1,900 pounds, so we can't have any extra, you know, accessories on it, but we don't want to smoke a wheel bearing. Anyway, time to hit the road. I think we got 3 hours to go. All right, so a couple hours later on the road, we made it up here. We're near Duluth, Minnesota, right at the bottom edge of Lake Superior, and I'm going to show you guys a 1949 Farmall Cub. It's 10 horsepower, two-wheel drive. It's been in the family for a few years. Hasn't run in a few years, but I don't think we're going to have a problem. These things are so simple. There's not much to getting it to run. One problem might be that, though, the mower deck is in there somewhere. Just got to figure that out and get it out of there. It's probably going to involve demolition right around that region, but we'll see. I brought the chainsaw. All right, here we are. There's a connection with International Harvester and McCormick. Sometimes it's one or the other or both, but this one has labels for both. I believe it's a 4-cylinder, maybe 3-cylinder, I don't remember for sure. Probably 4-cylinder. Has been converted from 6-volt to 12-volt. We have a snowplow on it right now. There's a belly mower in the garage. Weights and chains. But you can see it's kind of a mix of refurbished, cleaned up, repainted versus not, needs some love. So first thing we're going to try to do is see if it'll turn over, check out the state of the charge on the battery, and see if it'll crank. Okay, so we got a battery box down here, big beefy ground strap. I haven't checked the charge level yet, but a bunch of random stuff is like, looks like it's been replaced and painted, so that's nice. I don't see a lot of rust, which is also a surprise. I was expecting to see rust. And I have to familiarize myself with the controls here. Obviously I haven't operated a tractor like this before. So we got a couple of knobs. And we got, I think this is choke. I want to say this is the start, but I'm not sure. And I think this is related to headlights, but we'll see. So time to just start playing with stuff and see what happens. All right, 3 pedals, left brake, right brake, clutch. I did confirm that this one here, if you watch the linkage on the starter, you can see it's activating the starter. And I did confirm that's the choke. It's moving a linkage up to the carburetor, so I know what those are. So then we just have headlights and rear lights, and is this Bluetooth? Maybe? It's probably 5G. Right, running out of patience. Put my charger on here, and I was a little worried because the 6-volt, 12-volt thing with tractors, you know, everything that we drive these days is 12 volts, but back in the day stuff came as 6 volts. which is a measure of the, strength of the electricity, right? Like the pressure, kind of. I'm trying to find a good way to explain it. But so this thing was a 6-volt tractor, but the previous owner converted it to 12 volt and put in I think you have to change the alternator and the distributor maybe. It's got a 12 volt coil on it, ignition coil. The starter, however, is still a 6-volt starter. So I have to be a little bit careful because it's kind of like if we give this thing 12 volts, we're giving it twice as much power as it wants, or as it's designed to handle. So I have to be a little careful with the starter. You don't want to crank on it too long. But my charger will do 6 volts and 12 volts, but it doesn't matter because it's got a 12 volt battery and a 12 volt electrical system. So that's all fine. The battery is very dead, as you can see by my graph, my chart, my meter here. That's showing us a huge amount of battery power needed. So, we'll let that happen for a little while, but I am running out of patience. So I'm contemplating pulling my Jeep up in here and trying to jump start it, which, I don't know, I'll probably do that in the next 30 seconds based on how patient of a person I am. Okay, so I confirmed the mower is in there, and I think I'm going to throw a strap around those broken garage door panels and pull it out with the tractor once I get it running. And then the mower's right behind the broken garage door, so I'll throw a strap around that and just pull it out. That's my plan. There's also like a grader thing in there, as if I wanted to grade the driveway, but I don't have a dirt driveway, so I don't know if I'll take that or not. But I think that's the plan. Maybe pull this thing out into the sun so I can get my jumper cables on it safely, get it started, get it running, get the mower, get everything loaded up, and Bob's your uncle. But that'll take 3 hours, what I just described. Actually, while I try to practice my patience with the charger, I'm going to try to find I think they have like a thing that comes down off the gas tank, and then there's a glass bowl, like a filter / separator kind of thing. I'm going to see if I can locate that and maybe drain some gas out. Yeah, there it is. If I could drain some gas, put some fresh gas in, I'd feel a lot better about that. So that little glass bowl right there is at the bottom of the fuel tank. And the idea is that the crud that's in the gas will fall down into the bottom of the glass bowl, and you can just take it off and clean it. And that stuff doesn't run into your carburetor, then it gets trapped in there. So it's kind of like a filter, pre-filter thing. So I'm gonna drop some gas in here. I just checked and it's nearly bone dry, which is good because I don't want, 5-year-old gas hanging out in the carb, and it just doesn't burn very well. It turns to varnish and gums stuff up. So I'm going to put a couple gallons of clean gas in here, and then I'm going to open that and make sure I'm getting some good gas flow. And all the while we are charging our battery. Yeah, it's still way up there on the gauge, so that'll take a little bit, but I did get it to crank over just a tiny bit. So I know that the starter's free, switch is working. We're on the right track onto fuel. Okay, we got about 2 gallons of fresh gas in there. I'm going to try to crack open. Yeah, there we go, right away. We got nice fuel. It doesn't look too crappy. No, it's nice and clear. Can you see that? It's filled up the bowl. There's not a bunch of crap in it. It's the right color. So that should be able to flow down to the carburetor now. Let's go see on the other side. Coming out of that bowl right here, coming down to our carburetor here. So should be nice clean fuel. Here's the choke lever that I mentioned on the other side. So I think we're okay. As soon as the battery is ready, we'll give it a go here. Looks like the spark plugs are new. The oil pressure gauge says it has oil pressure right now, which makes me nervous. It shouldn't have oil pressure. I would like to have a nice oil pressure gauge, so I should probably check the oil. Alright, the gauge is starting to come down here just a little bit, which means the battery's starting to accept the electrotricities and it's calming down. Oil's good. Put 2 gallons of gas in it. It's come down through the bowl well, so that's probably fine. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a crank here. So that's our 6-volt starter. This is when you pull this guy, pulling that big ring, pulls this linkage, which pulls this thing, which closes the contact, which directly shorts the starter then to the battery. So that's all there is to it. So let's see if she'll turn over here. That's good. It's a good start. Try again. Yeah, that battery's still dead. Might be time to put the jumper cables on it. I'm running out of patience. I never claimed to be smart or safe or even intelligent. This is dumb, but like I said, I'm out of patience. What am I supposed to do? Yes, I have jumper cables hooked up to my wife's Jeep. They were too short, so I have this highly complex jumper cable isolation device, and then they're going over to the battery. So let's see what happens now. Okay, we're getting really close now. I found out this switch at the bottom is an ignition switch. This is a headlight switch, and this does nothing. I guess this is left over from the 6-volt version. It got gas dripping out of the car, which is not a huge concern, but I took that inlet pipe off to maybe put a little carb cleaner in there, and like a 1/4 cup of gas fell out. So this carb was completely full of gas. And now that I've did that, it's definitely starting to crank. So I'm going to give it another go here, see what happens. Well, that was super fun. It's really fun to just play with this thing and listen to it and feel the power. It's so rough, you know, it's like the opposite of my wife's Jeep. But the plan now is to take the chains off just to make it a little easier and smoother on the trailer. I'm going to drop the plow. I think I can just disconnect right here and right here, down here at this pin, and then I can just take the plow off the front. I'll leave the bracket there for now. That'll get some of the weight off. I'm worried about the weight capacity of that thing because it's like 95%. So we'll put the plow over there, put the tractor on there, and then we'll lift up the mower deck and shove it underneath the tractor. That's the plan. I'm also going to take the chains off. I think I already said that, but yeah, these just pretty much come apart. There's a link here, and there was some more on the other side. But I was getting a little worried because this side's actually hitting the fender, and this linkage rod, I guess that's probably the brakes. So yep, good times. Okay, I'm all out of breath from carrying those chains. I think we got the plow in a good spot. I think I'm just going to take this pin here and a big pin here. I think they'll just come right off. That'd be cool. Get the right tool for the job, I know. Well, there we are. Couldn't believe it. I don't think we could spare another inch. Had to fold the gate down. Just barely on. Got the mower deck on there. Disassembled the plow. And that's inside the Jeep. So that was fun. That was a good time. I'm exhausted. About to start the 3-hour trip home. But I think it was worth it. That thing's a gem. I can't wait to cut the grass with that. Won't that be fun? I'm excited. It's probably going to take some time to clean it up. Got to fix a fuel leak, and the mower is going to need some attention. Figure out how to mount it. The belts need to be replaced. Stuff like that. But it sure is going to be fun to putz with. So anyway, I'm excited. Thanks for coming along today. Hope you enjoyed the video.